Hey there, mathletes. Thanks for joining me for the very first video lesson of the fourth quarter. I got Avery with me. We're going to have a few other people coming in here. So while we're waiting, I'm just going to do a few quick announcements. For starters, this first lesson is brought to you by Stress Eating. Thanks for that. Okay, a couple of things. First of all, check out the fourth quarter links. They can be found both in the new Canvas homepage as well as in the modules. They should be right up top, fourth quarter links. There's a lot of helpful stuff in there for you. Also, assignments, we're going to do the same typical type of assignments. It's going to be Canvas, Canvas Classroom, sort of like Do Nows, except they're going to be just classwork assignments. And additionally, you got Math Excel going on as well. The links for those can also be found in the Canvas homepage as well as on the fourth quarter links module. Lastly, the office hours. I'm going to have help sessions / office hours starting at 1 o'clock every single day. There's information for how to get into the office hours and get help if you need it. That is available for you on the Canvas homepage and in the modules, obviously. So before we start our session, please go ahead and make sure you have the guided notes open and ready to go. Today's lesson is on shape and measures of center. So prior to watching this video, just like we would do in class, you have your guided notes open and ready to go. And if you need some help on like how to take notes using guided notes, there's a video for that as well. You guessed it, in the Canvas homepage. So I'm going to unmute some people now and let them introduce themselves, and then we'll get right into the lesson. So go for it, guys. Who do we got today? Okay. They're all afraid to talk. So Avery, hey Avery, how's it going, dude?
Hi, how are you, Mr. Leacock?
I'm doing great. I'm on this fantastic day. How about you, Lucca? We got Lucca here. How's it going, Lucca?
Good.
Good. All right. I'm down for good.
Yeah.
And Kristen, how you doing there, Kristen?
I'm okay.
Just okay. All right. So my big question, when did you wake up this morning, Kristen?
10:30.
10:30. I've been up since 7. So right. All right. So I'm going to go ahead and start on screen sharing. You should all be looking at the guided notes, which is measures of center, shape, and outliers. Okay. All right. So this is mostly review. Avery, how is it that we find the mean?
We add up all the different scores, and then we divide them by the amount there are. So, like, we'd add the 260s, the 370s, the 480s, the 390s, and 200s, and then we divide it by the total amount.
Awesome. So let's see if you people at home can beat my 3 students that are here with me now. Let's find the mean. Go ahead and do that now. Shout it out if you got the answer, people. They're working hard. I hear lots of clicking. I'm assuming that everybody's trying to punch in all these numbers into their FSA calculators, which is wonderful. Kristen says she's not doing that. Okay.
Okay, well, I am, but my computer wasn't working.
Wah, wah.
$68.6.
All right, so Avery got 68.6. Man, they are working really hard to double check their work. Anybody get a different answer than 68.6?
I got 80.
All right, so we got 68.6, and we got an 80.
Oh no, this isn't right.
Avery and Lucca, you're gonna go double check, right?
Yeah, I'm double checking.
Okay.
I feel like mine's wrong, but I don't know why.
What makes you say that?
It seems too low.
I also got 80, and I did it twice.
Okay, well, 80 is the correct answer. Thank you for all double checking. I'm guessing if doing it at home, then hopefully you guys got something close to 80 as well. Avery, your intuition was correct. You were a little bit off. All right, so just like we did mean, let's go ahead and do median. Lucca, tell me, how do we find the median?
You find the middle value by like, if it's even, you have to add the 2 in the middle and divide by 2.
All right, so there are 14 numbers, correct?
Yeah.
All right, so that means there's going to be 7 and 7. In this case, I'm going to add up the 80 and the 80 and divide by 2, and I'm going to get 80 for that. So there we go. Any questions about how to find median? All right, I'm hearing crickets. So Kristen, how do we find mode?
I don't remember.
Ooh, okay, help her out. Avery, how do we find mode?
Mode is the most commonly recurring one, so it'd be the one that
Oh,
there's
I
the
knew
most.
that.
All right, so Kristen, back to you. Mode, which one is the most commonly recurring one, as Avery said?
80.
80 is correct again. Very good. All right, we're cruising through this. This is all review stuff, and I know it's been a while, but you guys are doing great. Okay. All right, range. How do we find range there, Lucca?
You have to subtract the minimum value from the maximum, which is 100 minus 60,
So,
which equals 40.
great. 100 minus 60, I got 40. Any questions about that, guys? All right, so let's figure out quartiles now. I know that the median is the halfway point, yeah? So how am I going to find out where my first quartile is? Ooh, Avery, what do you think there?
You're gonna take the median, and then you're gonna make you're starting from the lower part of the median, you're gonna make another median, including the median.
So the median of the median, okay? So I'm looking at my first half, and the halfway point on the first half is going to be right there at 70. So my first quartile is 70. We okay with that?
Yeah.
All right, so then Kristen, I'm going to do the same thing on quartile 3. What am I going to get?
I have to count.
The median of the second half.
Would it just be 90?
90, right, because I'm looking at the middle of the second half, which is right there. That's going to be at 90. Can you guys see what I'm doing okay?
Yeah.
Okay, good. All right, awesome. Now, the last thing here is the interquartile range. We already did range, which, as Lucca said, is the maximum minus the minimum. Now, the interquartile range, Lucca, what are we going to do for that one?
I believe you take quartile 3 minus quartile 1.
Yeah,
Right?
so 20 is going to be our answer there, right? 90 minus 70. You got it, dude. We feeling okay so far? All right,
Yep.
fist to 5, you three. How's it going? All right,
5.
so we got 4s and 5s. All right. All right, so got the dot plot here, looking good. Now, that was all review. Let's talk about shape today, right? This is really what I want to get to is shape. I sort of talked about this before. Now, when I look at this dot plot here, I notice that if I were to like trace kind of the outline of it, it's pretty symmetrical, right? So if I have symmetrical shape on my dot plot, does anybody remember what we call that? What type of distribution?
Equal.
Symmetrical.
Yeah. So maybe we didn't talk about this. All right. So if I have symmetrical data, we call this normal distribution. Okay. Normal distribution. Okay. It's about the same on both sides. It doesn't have to be perfect, but it's pretty darn close. Okay. So anytime I've got something that's like pretty equal on both sides, I call it normal. Make sense? All right, so if I have a normal distribution, what do you notice about the median and the mean?
They're the same.
Yeah, they're the
Yeah.
same, right? Because it's about the same amount on each side. So the median and the mean are going to be almost identical. Okay. Now, in this case, the average or the mean is the best measure of center. Okay. Let's say, as an example, these were scores in my class. So if Mr. Yockel came up to me and was like, Mr. Leacock, tell me how your kids are doing in your class today. I'd be like, well, the average score or the median score for my kids is about an 80, right? And that would be a realistic example of like how you guys are doing, right? That's like the average score. Make sense?
Yeah.
So anytime we have a normal distribution, the average or the mean is going to be the best measure of center because it's actually the most accurate way of saying like this is what the average kid got. Now, if you go down here, we'll get to the mean and median in just a second. But if you're looking at the second example, so we got Mr. Gray's class score distribution here. What do you notice about the second dot plot?
It's not average
skewed.
distribution.
Right. So we have? You said it's not an average distribution.
No.
Any
So
other
I
words?
said.
Any other words we could use to describe this?
Oh, skewed.
Skew. Yeah. So if you guys forgot, that's okay. The skew is always named by the where the tail is. Okay. So which direction do you see the tail here?
Right.
Yeah. So it's since the tail is to the right, we say that this is skewed right. Okay. Make sense?
Right.
Yeah.
All right,
Yeah.
so I'm going to go ahead and put some stuff in the guided notes here, which I'm sure you can catch up on. But since it took a minute before, I'm going to go ahead and pause this. Pause. Oh, can I pause recording? How do I do this? No, I guess I can't. Oh, I can. Okay. So I'm going to pause the recording and give you guys a chance to figure out what the mean is. And we'll come back in just a second. All right, so they all have answers. Let's see what we got and see if we agree. Avery, what'd you get?
I got 76.04 or something.
And Lucca, what'd you get?
Same thing.
And Kristen?
The same thing.
Awesome. All right, so 76 is our mean, okay? Now remember we said this was skewed to the right. So if you had to guess, right, where do you see most of our scores are in this dot plot here?
70.
Around 70, right? So
Yeah.
without even knowing what the median is yet, right? Let's say I'm talking to Mr. Yockel again. He's like, Mr. Leacock, how we do on that other test, right? And I was like, well, most of the kids got scores around 70, but there was that one smart kid who got 100, and he's kind of pulling the average up a little bit, right? Would you say that it's realistic that, the average score is a 76? Or is that not quite realistic in this case?
That's
No.
realistic.
Why? Wait. There's like 5 kids that got like more than 5 that got like a good 80s and above. So
Right. So I
Yeah.
agree that there were 5 kids that got above 80, but most of the scores were like around 70, right?
Yeah, but like there is a bunch in the 80s, and it's like there's 2 90s.
yeah,
So is that where most of the kids are?
yeah.
Where most of them are, but I think it's still like the mean is okay.
The mean is
It's
okay.
like over half of them.
Yeah.
Over half of them are where?
Yeah. Over half of them are over.
Well, let's go ahead and find
And
out
the-
where is the median. All right, I'm gonna go ahead and do it the other way. I saw a student do it this way before. I'm gonna cross out one here and then one there. One here and one there. I'm just gonna keep crossing one on each side until I get to the median. Interesting. So the median is between 75 and 75, yeah?
Yeah.
So 75, it looks like this is actually pretty close either way, right? Now, this didn't work out in my favor because actually, when you have skewed data, the best measure of center is going to be the median, okay? So we said in this one, the shape was skewed right because there's a tail to the right. And anytime we have skewed data, the median is always going to be the best measure of center because it's a more accurate way of telling Mr. Yackel or anybody like where most of the people are, okay? If this were skewed even more, then we'd have a bigger shift between median and mean, okay? So anytime, the big thing to remember for this lesson is anytime you have normal distribution, the average or the mean is the best measure of center. But if you have skewed data in any way, the median is always going to be the best measure of center. Any questions about that?
No.
Okay, I'm seeing head shakes. All right, so let's go ahead down to task number 1. This should be all
Awesome.
very simple now that we've gone over it. Take a second, look at task number 1, and you're going to determine what type of distribution do we have. Is it skewed, which direction, or is it normal? And then which is the best measure of center there. So take a minute, see what you got, talk to each other.
I think it's skewed left.
Okay, why do you say
Yeah,
that?
same.
Yeah, me too.
The tail is to the left, which would mean the median is the best measure.
Okay, I see a tail to the left here. So our distribution is skewed left.
Hmm.
And then you said, what, Avery, about the best measure of center?
It's going to be the median.
Because that's what Mr. Leacock just told me. Great.
Yes.
Yeah, anytime we have skewed data, the median is the best measure of center. Great. Take a look at number 2. Somebody other than Avery, what are you thinking?
It's normal
Because?
because it's symmetrical pretty much.
Great, like pretty much symmetrical. It doesn't have to be perfect, but in this case, we would say it's normal distribution, which means what's the best measure of center?
Mean.
The mean is the best measure of center. That is correct. Great. And then last, ooh, this one's a little different. So in this one, remember with dot plots, or box and whisker plots, I mean, where do we always know the median is?
Right in the center.
The center of where?
The square.
Okay, so
Actually, not the center. It's where the line is.
exactly,
The middle
it's
line.
where the line is. Very good. So here we've got a line. I'm just going to look at the business one for a second. If I were to turn this business box and whisker plot into some kind of distribution, I would know that the highest point is right at the median. Okay, here's my median. So the highest point is here. Most of my data is going to be within the box, right? So if I'm kind of picturing the way that this mountain looks,
Yeah.
it's going to tail off in which direction?
The right.
To the right, yeah, because I got
To
this
the right.
whole area here that's kind of a long tail. So in this case, the business is like skewed to the right, okay? So what would the median score, oh, I'm sorry, describe the shape. So we said for the business one, we have skewed to the right. All right, now what are you guys thinking about the shape of the engineering one? What does that look like to you?
I would say it's either like skew to left or normal, but I don't know which one.
All right, so we've got like the
I
highest
say
point
skewed
right
left.
here. It's gonna come up like this, and then it's gonna kind of tail off like that. I would say there's
Skewed
probably slightly skewed to the left. I would agree with Kristen on that one. So the engineering one is slightly skewed left. And how about psychology? What are we thinking about psychology here?
Normal.
Pretty normal, right? Comes up, comes down. I'd say that's probably about right. All right, last question. The highest median salary, which one's it going to be? Who's got the highest?
Engineering,
Why do you say
Engineering.
engineering?
because
Because-
the line in the center of the square is like the highest from all the three.
Great. Nice job, guys. Any questions about how to do that?
No, but for some reason I thought it was gonna be the number, so I wrote 1065.
Yeah, I put 65.
Oh, okay. For the median, you mean?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I get that. It does say describe the shape. So 65 would describe the shape of engineering, but slightly skewed left would. You can do both though. That's good practice. All right, so guys, thank you so much. That's it for the lesson. Couple of reminders, and then I'm going to give these three a chance to shout out all their friends at home. So here's where we are here. We've just done the lesson on normal, skewed left and skewed right shape. And there's going to be an assignment in Canvas for you to do. It's Canvas classwork. It's right there in this module. You can use your guided notes to do this. You can use the video to do this. Use whatever help you need. And if you have any questions about how to do this, you can find me in office hours at 1 o'clock today. So without further ado, Avery, you got a shout out that you want to throw out there?
What would that exactly be?
A shout out, like, my friend Zara, who I like to bug in fourth period or something like that. I don't know.
Oh.
Actually, you like to bug Sahar more than anybody.
Avery, you're okay?
So, for some reason that gave me a flashback to the one time we made
Okay,
Big
just stop
Sahar.
the person.
Just stop
I
the
shout
person.
out myself for being awesome.
All right, Lucca, you got a shout out.
Yeah. Okay. Hi, Ure. That's my shout out.
And Kristen, you got any shout outs for 7th period?
Yes, I do. Okay, I would like to shout out most of the people in my period 7 class: Juan, Emily, Jaden, Danny, Veronica, Samantha, and Javier for making the class super fun. And 7.
All right, guys, do your work, and I'll see you next time.